Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Jaya Radhe, Jaya Jaya Shyam, Jaya Jaya Shri Vrindavan Dham, Jaya Jaya Radhe, Jaya Jaya Shyam, Jaya Jaya Shri Vrindavan Dham, Jaya Jaya Radhe, Jaya Jaya Shyam, Jaya Jaya Shri Vrindavan Dham, Jaya Jaya Radhe, Jaya Jaya Shyam, Jaya Jaya Shri Vrindavan Dham, Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya, Govinda Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya, Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya, Radha Ramaण Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya
Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya
Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya
Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya
Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya
Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga
Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga
Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga
Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga
Hari Bol Gaura Hari Bol
Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol
Hari Bol Hari Bol Gaura Hari Bol
Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya
Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya
Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya
Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya
Jai Govinda Jai Gopal
Jai Gopal
Jai Govinda Jai Gopal
Jai Govinda Jai Gopal
Kesava Madhava Dina Daya
Krishna Madhav Dina Daya
Kesava Madhava Dina Daya
Krishna Madhav Dina Daya
Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol
Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol
Jai Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada
Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada
Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada
Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada
Harila Pavana Harinama Sankirtan ki
Jai
Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki
Jai
Hare Krishna. So we are very, very happy and very grateful and honored to have His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu with us.
Hare
So I would just like to introduce him. So His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu came to Krishna consciousness in 1991 during
Stay in Kolkata only?
during IIT Mumbai days by association of His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrit Swami Maharaj. Aye, please. Sorry. Have a seat. Please have a seat. Aye, please come.
Very intelligent.
He is IIT Mumbai MTech topper. After working with CECRI as a senior research fellow and as a mechanical engineer at Thermax and Mathur and Platt companies for a few years, he took up role of celibate monk, youth trainer, and mentor and corporate advisor. He joined ISKCON Chowpatty in 1994. He was ordered to start youth preaching at Pune in 1995 by his spiritual master, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, and his GBC, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. In 1997, he was made the temple president of ISKCON Pune. In the following years, he started the famous youth organization within ISKCON called BASE in 2000, which was subsequently renamed as Voice in 2003 to distinguish it as a spiritual center with strict morning program and dynamic preaching center with hundreds of youths chanting 16 rounds and following 4 regulative principles. He was temple president Pune with 6,000 disciples, new temple in 2012, which is called NVCC. ISKCON NVCC Pune steadily bagged the first rank in Prabhupada book marathon during the years 2019, 20, 21 and 22. He is also co-temple president of Hyderabad since 2018. He graduated from the GBC college, after which he was offered the post of GTO Global Duty Officer for Youth Outreach in West. Now he travels to USA twice a year for 1.5 months, visit to reach out to various universities and temples at Boston, Brooklyn, New York. Boston and Brooklyn, New York. New Jersey, Baltimore, Connecticut, Washington of DC, Harrisburg, Delaware, IFAST, Bloomington, Chicago, Dallas, Austin, Houston, San Jose, San Diego, Los Angeles, and Seattle, and other places to give programs for youth in universities, as well as offer inspiration, strategy, and operational support to youth mentors and serious practitioners. Among youth, among youth, and to establish BYS, Bhaktivedanta Youth Services centers to support ISKCON temples with youth in their services and preaching. He is the RSA Regional Secretary Assistant to GBC for the following areas: Aurangabad, Kolhapur, Satara, Ahmedabad, and Pune. So thank you very much. We'd like to welcome him by loudly chanting 3 times Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुः उन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। So we will recite this shloka for today. It is Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, 50th shloka. Buddhi yukto jahatiha Ubhe sukrita dushkrite Tasmat yogaya yujyasva Yoga karma kaushalam. So we can have 3 devotees can recite. Any of you, please. You will lead and we will follow you. Any 3 devotees. Buddhi yukto jahatiha Ubhe sukrita dushkrite Tasmat yogaya yujyasva Yoga karma kaushalam. Buddhi yukto jahatiha Ubhe sukrita dushkrite Tasmat yogaya yujyasva Yoga karma kaushalam. Buddhi yukto jahatiha Ubhe sukrita dushkrite
तस्माद् योगाय युज्यस्व
Tasmad yogaya yujyasva.
योगा कर्मसु कौशलम्
Yoga karma. Oh. Now I will show you let us read the word by word translation synonyms. Buddhi yuktaha, one who is engaged in devotional service. Jahati, can get rid of. Iha, in this life. Ubhe, both. Sukrita dushkrite, good and bad results. Tasmat, therefore. Yogaya, for the sake of devotional service. Yujyasva, be so engaged. Yogaha, Krishna consciousness. Karmasu, in all activities. Kaushalam, art. Translation purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. A man engaged in devotional service rids himself of both good and bad reactions even in this life. Therefore, strive for yoga, which is the art of all work. Please repeat after me. A man engaged in devotional service rids himself of both good and bad reactions even in this life. Therefore, strive for yoga, which is the art of all work. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Since time immemorial, each living entity has accumulated the various reactions of his good and bad work. As such, he is continuously ignorant of his real constitutional position. Once ignorance can be removed by the instruction of the Bhagavad Gita, which teaches one to surrender unto Lord Sri Krishna in all respects and become liberated from the chained victimization of action and reaction, birth after birth. Arjuna is therefore advised to act in Krishna consciousness, a purifying process of resultant action. Welcome all of you for this monthly one session on the Bhagavad Gita in the home of Som Prabhu. Som Prabhu has a very big heart. He has always been the well-wisher of ISKCON Albert Road Temple since many years. He has been coming regularly, even for the many morning programs, and very close associate of Acharya Prabhu. And I know that he used to arrange a program in his house. I never knew it is such a big program. Huh? Monthly when so many bhaktas gathering together, such a wonderful program it is. Thank you for the opportunity, Prabhu.
Very good.
In this world, all of us have come and we act and we accumulate good deeds and bad deeds. And according to the Vedas, every living being is actually a spark of life, a part of God. Being a part and parcel of God, everyone is divine. Nobody is bad in this world. Everybody is divine. But the divine spark of life is covered by mind where we accumulate good karma vasanas and impure karma vasanas, both. Like sometimes the train goes through a forest and there may be some dead animal, so then you get the bad fragrance. Sometimes the train goes through your garden where there are jandu flowers grown there, and then you get a good fragrance. Just as the wind carries the aromas when it passes across a train, similarly the soul is covered by a mind, and the mind picks up good karma vasanas and bad karma vasanas. For example, if you are carrying some good sugandha, Vayuh gandhari vashayat. Krishna uses this in Bhagavad Gita. So here, these fellows are fabulously rich. They have done some punya in the past. And then you find some are born wretchedly poor. Mm. Some are born handsome. Some are born ugly. Some are born healthy and strong. Some are born weak and handicapped. Some are born to rich parents in a rich home. Actually, if you see all of us, say you choose a job, you choose a car, you choose an apartment, isn't it? But did you choose your parents or you were given the parents? Imagine if anybody would be allowed opportunity to choose the parents, you may say probably Mukesh Ambani would be good, huh? Or Elon Musk or somebody like that. Huh? So we didn't choose our parents, we were awarded the parents, isn't it? Similarly, did we choose our face cut or face cut was given to us? It was given to us. We didn't cut our face. We got the face cut, ready-made. Did we choose the pigment of skin color? No. Somebody is fair, somebody is black. We didn't choose it. We are awarded that. So we will see that some are born with a silver spoon and some are born impoverished, you can see. So in this way, you can see that all of us are awarded good results or bad results depending on our previous actions, good and bad actions. So the good actions brings forth handsome body, good education, birth in a good family, healthy body, and very nice living conditions, amenities, facilities, everything. And the sinful activities are, vicious activities. There are virtuous activities, there are vicious activities. Yeah? The vicious activities brings forth ugly body or a unhealthy body or illiteracy or born in a slum and not getting enough food or clothing and that type of lifestyle. So when one hears this, then one immediately comes to a conclusion that we should not do sinful activities. And like, for example, there are 4 sinful activities said in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Dyutam, Panam, Striya, Sona, Yatra, Adharma, Chaturvida. What are adharmic activities? Illicit sex, meat eating, intoxication, and gambling. These are the 4 activities said. Why? Because everybody is allowed to marry and beget children and live as a family. But illicit sex means sex before marriage or sex outside marriage, extramarital relationship. So that is actually condemned. And everyone should treat, other than one's wife, one should treat every other woman as a mother. Matravat paradareshu. Paradara. Dara means wife. Paradara means other men's wives should be treated like our mother. That is the standard. Then similarly, one should not injure the poor creatures like goat or chicken or such creatures just for the sake of taste buds. Because the devotee of the Lord sees that in every living body, there is a spark of life called Atma, which is animating the body. Say, for example, I am driving a truck and somebody is driving a Luna. Can I just hit the Luna saying that Luna is so small, I am so big? Because both in the Luna and in the truck, the same type of driver is driving. So I have to respect the driver. Similarly, in every living body, there is a driver animating the living body. So we have to respect that. But even while walking on the road, we don't put our boots on an ant because we should have reverence for all life. So that is the second one, no meat eating. And no forms of intoxication like smoking or drinking or drugs. One college student asked Srila Prabhupada that, Swamiji, if God has created tobacco, that means he wants us to smoke. Otherwise, why did he create? That was his argument. So Prabhupada said, God has also created datura, poison leaves. What about that? Do you eat that regularly? The boy said, Swamiji, if I eat that, I'll die. That means you have viveka buddhi. You have the ability to discriminate what should be eaten and what should not be eaten. So then Prabhupada said, therefore you should choose to, accept things which are favorable for your body, and reject things which are unhealthy for your system. That means God has kept both. and we have to choose the right things. And as a human being, you have the ability. As a human being has the ability to choose the right, what is wrong. Actually, animals act instinctively, and the humans act by thinking twice before acting. That ability is there in us. Animals act by instinct. So, like for example, a rat just enters into a rat trap, wondering that who has put this pakoda or something hanging. Foolishly. I think they have forgotten, they have left it, so let me eat it. So he pulls it and then immediately the rat trap closes. So it acts instinctively because it just goes by the instant pleasure, not understanding about the consequences of its actions. Correct, no? So the animals, birds, generally they act instinctively. They go by gut feeling or pleasure. Immediately they want to enjoy things. But human being means we can think before we act, look before we leap. This is one very special ability God has given the human beings. You can think of the consequences. Like for example, say somebody is suffering from obesity. Doctor tells you that you should eat salads. And one doesn't like salads, eating mung sprouts and all these things. One would like to eat, bread and jam and pastries and pizza and pasta and all that. But doctor says you just eat salads for a while until your cross section comes, to size. You are slim and good looking. So then what do? Then you do that austerity because you can think of the consequences, and knowing the bad consequences, you can avoid things which are not good for you. Correct? No? You can do that. Human beings can actually choose. What is speak of acting? Even speaking. There's a saying in English, the spilt milk and the broken glass and the sped arrow and the spoken words cannot be taken back. So therefore, you think twice before you speak anything to anybody. You see, the tongue has no bones, but if you speak something, it can cause your bones to be broken by somebody. Somebody can speak some bad words and be beaten up by somebody. So therefore, one always thinks twice before speaking. So in this way, you will see that we have to choose between good action and, virtuous action and sinful action. Sinful action is called vikarma, and one should do karma. But in this verse, what we read just now, Lord Krishna is telling something very interesting. He says that good actions are also bad, he says, for the soul. And that is very astonishing, because any of us may think, if I do good actions, then I get a handsome body. I am born in a very rich family. I have good education. I live a very happy life. Why Lord Krishna is saying one should abandon both good reactions and bad reactions? Ube sukrita dushkrite is saying. Anybody can tell me, why do you think Krishna may be saying that? Then what else one is supposed to do? Should I do virtuous action or vicious action? Vicious action is very obvious. We should not do it. Why would he say that one should not do just good actions and get good results? Life after life, we can be getting very nice results. Why does he? Yeah? Mission of karma? Accumulation of karma. So, what's wrong with that?
Bondage coming with accumulation.
Okay. So, you can explain what is that word bondage? You can explain a little more.
When we speak positive karma, we get positive results.
Correct.
Bondage.
Mike, you have a mic? There's a mic coming to you.
Okay.
There's a mic behind you. If you tell the mic, it will come in the recording also.
Hello.
Yeah.
So when whatever karma we do, we create a bond out of it, be it negative or be it positive. So with positive karma, there's positive bonds that we create, and we get the positive results. So there's a bondage, and we are not able to free ourselves from any kind of bond. So we are fixated in the cycle of life and death and bonds. We are not able to free ourselves. So that
Very
is what
good. Anybody want to extend to this? Yeah, please. Give the mic here, and the mic is coming to you.
No, I feel that Krishna doesn't want us to get an ego, because even if good karma, you can get a big fat ego, and then that can come in the way of your progress.
Oh, right. So his point is we should not be proud of what we do, okay?
The intent behind the karma, if your intentions are good, when you do a karma which is good, you'll get good right results. That is what Lord Krishna wants.
Okay.
Yes. If with a bad intent, still you try to do some karma which is considered good otherwise,
Correct.
that is not right.
Okay. So his point is our actions are all right. Good actions we can do, but the intention should be good, he says, okay? So say, for example, with good intention, you are feeding the poor, for example. You are giving the, uniforms to school children or something like that. Or you're giving water in summer season. These are all good intentioned activities, isn't it? So, but here Lord Krishna is saying that a person who is very smart, yoga karmasu kaushalam, he goes beyond good and bad actions, he says. So he's not even talking about well-intentioned activities also. He's talking of something which surpasses both. And he explained that, and what is it is correct actually. Your answer is a perfect answer. That will require a little more explanation for people to appreciate that point. I will elaborate on what you said. You see, according to Bhagavad Gita, we all are independent, free souls from the spiritual plane. But now we have come to this material plane and we are trapped in a bodily cage. Like as much as a parrot is put in a cage. So tell me, will parrot be happy inside the cage or will it be happy flying in the free sky? In the free sky, is it not true? Similarly, right now we are trapped in a material body. And if you very carefully observe this body imposes many conditions on us. For example, in my school days, once I got a wound in my knee. My mom told me not to go to school, but I told her that I'll miss the classes. I'll go to school. So it was a big wound in the knee. And I told my madam that, madam, please make an announcement in the class that nobody should come near me. Because I have a wound in the knee, nobody should hit my leg. So she made an announcement and I sat in the edge of a bench so that nobody can hit me. And we were all listening to the class. And one boy came late for the class, running into the class. He had a backpack. He just removed the backpack and the backpack removed it around him. And then when he went in, that exactly abraded over my wound. And I loudly screamed, ah, like that. And everybody jumped up from their seats. And the madam came running to me and said, why are you screaming like this? I said, ma'am, I am dead. I said. She said, if you are dead, how are you speaking? Isn't it? I said, I am worse than dead. I said. And then I saw it was actually bleeding. So at that time I felt, let me take a sword in the hand and cut off my leg and throw it out of the window, I thought. Is it a good idea? You can't cut your leg and throw. That will cause even more pain. At the same time, when you are having the leg with the wound, that is also painful. Which means, damned if you do, damned if you don't. You can't get rid of it immediately. You have to tolerate the pain. That's the real way the samsara is. You will see there are many conditions. One of the conditions I told you just now, which is the disease in the body. Similarly, one gentleman told me, he was a little angry man. He used to lose temper very easily. And he used to have tussles at home. One day he became so angry with his wife, he slapped her. Immediately, wife left the home and went to her parents' home. And then he realized that, it was a big mistake that he did that to her because he had to cook every day himself, morning and evening. After 3-4 days, he called her and she would not even lift the phone. And after a week, she lifted the phone and said, I won't come, you mistreated me and all that. So it took him 3 months to convince her parents and herself and bring her back. So, and then he was very grateful to her. He told her that now I realized without you, my life cannot go on. It is so difficult without you. So he was very respectful to her and treated her well. But after 1 week, the same old story started. Again, he was becoming, losing his temper. So this gentleman had one good realization. He told me, when we both are together, I get angry. And when she goes away, I immediately feel the need for her to come back and take charge of the house. So this is called samsara. Samsara means what? You together also have a problem, separated also problem. That means problem, both problems. This is also a problem, that is also a problem. You will see like that. In the same manner, you will see now with the summer season going on, everywhere it's so hot. People are fed up with the heat. They want to beat the heat and have a AC or something. You will see that. Then there will be rainy season. People are fed up with the heavy rain sometimes. Going to office, coming becomes it's a great menace. And there's a chill, cold winter, freezing winter, which nobody likes. And people are wondering, when will this winter get over? When I was traveling in the West, I actually have to go between January to mid-February to US. And it is icy zone that time. Everywhere there is ice covering the grounds, in the terraces, in the cars, everywhere. You keep a car for a while, immediately the car will be covered with ice there, like that. So it's a chill, cold winter. Nobody likes when summer comes. People come out and have a big vacation in America. So Americans are thinking America is so cold. Indians are in equatorial zone. They must be happy. And Indians are thinking Americans must be happy. Don't have heat like us. But neither of them is happy, because you will see that we have so many conditions like the climatic conditions, disease in the body. Similarly, when body gets old, it's not very comfortable. Sometimes if you sit down, getting up is difficult. We get up, sitting down is difficult. There is back pain, there is knee pain, so many different things in the body. So, and people will take so many medicines after 70, 80. It's a painful thing. So Lord Krishna talks about these 4 types of problems. Birth, old age, disease, and death. He says, these are all conditions. Like all of you are comfortable sitting now on land. But when you fly up in a plane like 30,000 feet above the mean sea level or something, sometimes the plane jerks. You have seen that? They immediately make an announcement that put on your seat belts and all that they say. Like that it comes sometimes. You are afraid that some accident shouldn't happen, some crash shouldn't happen. There is always a fear when you are up in the air. Similarly, if you are in the middle of the ocean in a ship, there is always fear. Anytime the water can enter the ship and drown the ship. But on land, you are pretty comfortable. Fish is comfortable only on water. A bird is comfortable in the sky, which means you are comfortable only in one place and not in another place. That is also a condition. So we all are subject to conditions in our body. Our body has many, many conditions. For example, one day you ate your food. After that, somebody gave you some crackjack biscuit. You thought stomach is full, still tongue wants. So you ate some 4 biscuits and next day you'll have a problem. You will see that. Stringent condition. You want to eat, but you cannot eat anything you want. Yeah. So one should consider that even though I may do good, but if I get a good body also, do you think handsome people have no suffering? Handsome people also get diseases. And similarly, rich people also, they also have many, many complications in their body. So that's what he was telling. Whether you are rich, whether you are handsome, whether you are educated, whether you are on the top of the world, everybody gets old age, disease, death, and all these things. So then, how can one avoid these things? If you do good, you have to get good reactions. If you do bad, you have to get bad reactions. But there is one activity which if you do, you will not get either good or bad reaction. You will actually finish your term in this world and ascend to the spiritual regions, the spiritual world, where all living beings live a very happy life in connection with the Supreme, which is explained in the 15th chapter you will read of the Bhagavad Gita. You will read that. And that life is actually real life. And the life in this world is like a perverted reflection. For example, if a mango tree in the bank of a river, if it is reflecting in the water, there is also a reflection mango. There's a real mango, there is reflection mango. But the real mango can give you real happiness. Reflection mango is only visible. It's a, what do you call it? It's a happiness in view, but out of experience. It doesn't give you an experience. So Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna, Yoga Karma Kaushala means you should live in this world in such a way that you don't accumulate karma. Let us see how do we do that. We will talk about that. Say a soldier is working for an army. Say he's fighting for India, for example. He's fighting in the Kargil war. So now his mom is telling him, Beta, you have been my only son and you are very dear to me. Although I sent you to army for last 20 years, now the war is coming, I'm afraid. You should not go to the war. And she's crying. Huh? But the son is feeling that I am trained for 20 years in the army. Now the Kargil war is coming, and this is the time when my country needs me the most. So how many of you feel that you should go for the war? Let us see. Okay, almost 75% of them. Okay, how many of you feel because mom is crying, you should stay back at home? Anybody? There is one, two. There is a couple of them.
So the question is fighting the war in the country.
Yeah.
Is it a good karma or bad karma?
Now we will come to that. I'll tell. But out of the two, which is superior? Staying at home just to please the family members or fighting for the nation. When you compare these two, fighting for the nation is a larger cause. Huh? Because if they fight the battle, they can protect the invaders from entering into India. And then that way the culture and, the spiritual practices can be protected in our country. Otherwise, in the past, we have seen what happened to our country, isn't it? So then we want to see the culture protected. So going for the war is a higher dharma. Staying at home is a lower dharma, correct? No? Protecting parents and children, family members is also dharma only. But same, it's a lower dharma. And, the cause of the nation is a higher dharma, correct? Now you understand?
When you're fighting over, you're killing people. No?
Yeah, correct. Yeah. No, the example that I'm trying to give you is when you fight on behalf of the nation, you get a Paramir Chakra, something like that. Correct, no? At the same time, if the same soldier comes home and he picks up a quarrel with the neighbor and he shoots him, then they'll put him behind the bars. The action is same. One action is done on his own account. Another action is done on country's account. That's the difference between the two. So, for example, I'm a cashier in a bank. See, somebody gives 20 lakhs. I'm not going to dance and jump up and down. Oh, I got 20 lakhs because it's not my money. It is bank's money. I just put it in the bank. And somebody is asking for a 1 crore loan. I'm lending out 1 crore and I'm not going to cry because I'm not giving from my pocket. I'm just giving from the bank. But when the problem comes, when I'm receiving 20 lakhs, I pocket 5 lakhs and I put 15 lakhs in the bank. Then I get arrested for that. Correct, no? So in this way, when we do anything on our account, that victimizes us in this world. And when we can work on Lord's account, Krishna's account, about which we will talk very soon. How to work on Krishna's account, we will talk about that. But if we can learn to work on God's account, then we are neither victimized by good or bad. It's called akarma, we call it, which is actually spiritual karma. It becomes divine activity. It becomes a divine activity. Now, before we come to divine activity, we need to understand some basics which Lord Krishna explains. In the 3rd chapter, a very, very important concept is explained. Lord Krishna is telling that in this world, you will see from nature, I'll just show you the picture, it will make it more clear. So you can see here, no one can manufacture any of these things. Like you see the eatables, grains, fruits, vegetables, milk, sugar, etc. Correct, no? Beautiful plate, no? You feel like eating immediately, huh? Isn't it? Yeah. So these are all God's gift for us. Huh? He has created this world and He is providing for His own children, He is providing everything. Similarly, even the necessities of life, like the heat from the sun, and the sun gives the sunlight and heat also gives, and moon gives moonlight, and air and rainfall, all these things. You see, the ocean water is salty, but the sun converts it into sweet water and showers the rain, isn't it? So we take all that. We are all converting solar energy into electrical energy, isn't it? And using it as electricity in our homes. So you can see so many of these things are supplied free of cost for us, correct, no? We are receiving from the nature. If you were to take electricity from electricity board, you are definitely going to pay the fee, correct, no? If I buy a Bisleri bottle of water, I have to pay some 20 rupees, 20 rupees I have to pay. But when I get pure water from the clouds, I don't pay anywhere. When I take the sun and convert it into sunlight into electrical energy. I don't pay anywhere. So try to think about it. The gifts we are receiving from nature, uh, how are they coming? Sometimes people assume that because we are living in this world, the nature is kept here. We can accept these gifts. But Lord Krishna is telling a very important thing. The nature is not functioning automatically. Uh, the nature is actually guided by the Lord to produce these things. For example, if a child comes home, uh, uh, I have another picture I can show you. Just one minute. If, for example, see if you see this, when you go to the airport, you have automatically opening and closing door, isn't it? Is it automatic really? There is some blocking of some sensor path. So it's a pre-arrangement. Correct, no? That's a pre-arrangement. Similarly, these two little girls are coming home and they find a sandwich and they're happily eating, and I put some tomato ketchup and you enjoy it. But did this sandwich come on its own? Uh, you know, they know very well mom has kept it, without which they can't enjoy that. And there is somebody behind it. It's a pre-arrangement. Similarly, we see all these wonderful things in the creation of God. So many rich gifts of nature that we are enjoying. So many type of fruits and vegetables and cereals and spices. God knows my children have a long tongue. They want to taste good foods. Imagine if there is only bland rice is kept. Everybody has to eat rice in the morning, rice in the afternoon. There is no other spices. Will anybody be able to enjoy life really? But He has given us so many varieties of juices and fruits, and we have choices also. I like apple juice. I like pineapple juice. I like mango juice. Everybody has their preferences. And He has created all these wonderful things and put them here. So when we are receiving these gifts from nature, we are not paying any tax. So that is something that we have to certainly think about. Uh, that I am drawing so many things from the God's creation. First, I told you the vegetables, fruits, and cereals. That's one category. Second category, I told you heat of the sun, light of the moon, wind, and for breathing air, isn't it? And the water. And all these things we are taking. That's the second category. There is one more category, third category, the 120 elements given in the Mandel's periodic table, correct? No? For example, manganese, sulfur, iron, even gold, silver, diamond, minerals we are taking. Otherwise, there cannot be any industries at all. Because all these commodities which we use in industries, like one gentleman met Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada asked him, what do you do? He said, I have a glass industry. He said, how do you make the glass industry? He said, from the silicon. Where do you get the silicon from? From the nature. So Prabhupada said, do you do something for God? He said, I don't do much. He said. Then Prabhupada said, then you become a thief. Because you are taking from nature and using things to manufacture some things, and you're making money and putting in your pocket. You are not giving anything to God, but you're taking things from God. So here comes a very important question. In this world, everything is owned by somebody. Like you take a house, now this house is owned by Som Prabhu. You take a car, it is owned by somebody. Even you, for example, if any of you have a pen in your pocket, I want to put my signature. I cannot reach out my hand to your pocket and pull it out. What I will do? Can I please have your pen? And because it is your pen. When I take the pen away from you, I have to sign it and I have to give it back to you. If I were to use your car, you may allow me. I have to ask you permission. Sir, can I use your car? You may say yes. But how long? I have to ask you. So you can keep it for a day, then I'll give it to you back after that. Because it is owned by you. Similarly, in this creation, everything is owned by whom? Yesha vasamidam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat. There is a verse like that in Ishopanishad. In this world, everything is owned by one Supreme Lord, who is the creator of everyone and everything. That Ishwar, Param Ishwar, Brahmaji says, Ishwaraha Parama Krishna. That Krishna says it in Gita. The whole world was created by him. 7.4 Bhagavad Gita, you can see. Bhumi Rapo Anala Vajo Kammano Buddhirevacha Ahankar Etiyam Me Bhinna Prakritrashtada. I have created this entire world. So Lord has created and put this. That means when I am taking things from this world, the first thing I should do is to acknowledge it and thank him. That's the first thing. Second thing, I have to ask him, why are you giving me all these things, sir? You must be having some purpose. For example, all of you mothers and fathers sitting here, say you have a son. You send him to engineering college. Now when he goes to study in a college, in a faraway place, you send him money every month for his food, for his accommodation, for his college fee, correct? No? But you have some expectation from the son. He will complete his studies, earn a degree, and come back and join your business and assist you in your business. Similarly, God has given us a chance to be independent of him by coming to this world, and he's giving us food, clothing, shelter, everything. But he wants us to study the Vedas, study the Bhagavad Gita, and align our lifestyle with his will. And in such a way, we have to live that we will go back to him and then join his business eternally in the spiritual world. So, in this world, we all want to do two things. One is we want to do our duty to God also, but at the same time, we have a desire to enjoy also. Everybody. We have a desire to enjoy, and we are also ready to do the duty. Like a child, you ask any child, do you like to play or do you like to study? What do you think children will say? Yeah, they like to play. But parents want them to? Exactly. Now, many parents were sitting. I asked them, how many of your parents would like your children to be obedient to you? Then all parents raised a hand. Every mother said, one mother raised both the hands. No, child should be completely obedient. Then I told them, in the same manner, God wants you to be obedient to him. She said, that we never thought. She said, is it not true? So just as we want our children to be aligned with us, God wants us to be aligned with him. So now why God wants us to be aligned with him? Like if I ask any of your parents, why do you want your children to be aligned with you? It is for their good. Correct, no? Hare Krishna. Yeah. It is for their good. For example, you will see a child goes to kitchen. The child wants to touch fire. Mom says, hey, no, don't touch fire. Child wants to pick up a knife and cut sabjis. Mom says, hey, don't know better, don't cut the sabji, you will cut your fingers. Don't do that. Then the child says, okay, I'm going out and playing. Hey, don't go out. Alone, you are a very tender child. When you go out to play, I'll come with you. The child is wondering why mom is saying no, no, no to these things. But she's saying no because she is concerned about the child. It is similarly, God also tells us, no illicit sex, no meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication. For our good, he is saying. So we don't hurt ourselves. Because the pure soul doesn't need these things. Like for example, nobody is going to die without a cigarette. But you need only grains to eat. There are so many things man is putting into his system which are not at all necessary. So, in this way, when you are living in this world, God wants us, okay, you want to play, you want to enjoy life. I will give you a very simple formula. What is it? All of you please repeat after me. Sanctioned, sanctified, regulated. For example, vegetarian food is sanctioned. And if you offer the vegetarian food to Krishna and tell the Lord that you gave the vegetables, fruits, cereals, everything to me, I didn't create, no scientist can create and give me. Oh Lord Krishna, you are giving me, so I want to say thank you to you. And then you take it, that becomes sanctified. So sanctioned food should be cooked, and then when it is offered to Krishna, it becomes sanctified. And after that, when you are going to eat it, one should not overeat. One should eat in a regulated fashion. Even if it is prasad, one should not overload the belly. Some people like prasad so much, they overload the belly to such a point that when rice comes from the nose. Yeah. So much one should not eat. One should be regulated. So you'll remember these 3 points: sanction, sanctified, regulated. So sanctioned, sanctified, regulated enjoyment is permitted by the Lord. Only don't go for unsanctioned food like meat and wine and all that. And that cannot be sanctified also. Lord has prohibited that. And somebody says, no, I will take only little wine. One boy asks, can I take only quarter? No, quarter will not remain quarter. It'll become half, it'll become full, and you will be gone after that. So those activities should be given up. Those activities should be. So in this way, this is the first formula I told you. We are receiving from Lord, accept what is sanctioned, sanctified, regulated, and then don't forget to do your duty. Two things I told you. One is you want to enjoy, you want to do duty. So enjoyment part I have told you. Now, you can accept enjoyment, which is like, for example, somebody has a desire for the opposite sex. For example, a boy is attracted to a girl, girl is attracted to a boy. It's very natural in this world. Then they have to marry and live properly. Correct, no? They are allowed to marry. So nowadays, people don't marry before the parents can settle their marriage. In college days only they connect. And then when they grow up, as friends roaming in the bike and everything, then they go to parents after 3-4 years and say, we want to marry. And parents are opposing. They say, look at their economic status, look at their caste, our caste, and a lot of problems come nowadays. And then they're separated, the marriage doesn't happen, broken love, and they're weeping. And so many problems. So Lord says that don't do this. Instead, when a man and woman agree to marry, that is called sanctioned. That is sanctioned. When is it sanctified? When husband and wife come together and keep a altar for Lord Krishna, bow down to him in the morning, they chant the holy name, they offer bhoga and eat prasad, then it becomes sanctified. Yeah. And regulated lifestyle means they don't live a lavish lifestyle. They actually they save the money and also use their excess wealth for doing good to the world. For example, like Som Prabhu is inviting all of you and cooking prasad and putting up a program, this kind of seva. This is called seva. Or they purchase Bhagavad Gitas and distribute. In this way, your married life can be sanctioned, sanctified, and regulated. Food, I told you, it can be sanctioned, sanctified, regulated. In this way, we can talk about everything. Like, for example, what money is sanctioned? Like you are earning money from the business or from the job or something like that. That should be honestly earned. One should not cheat others and loot others and earn money. So then it is sanctioned. Now, many of you working in companies, the company takes away one portion of money, which is called TDS, they call it. You know that? Isn't it? Tax deducted at source only. They don't show that money also to you. They say, we already deducted. You take only the balance money. Isn't it? Then that's the sanctioned money for you. Company has sanctioned you. But then when you offer a portion of the money which you earn in Krishna service, say 5% or something, you keep it aside for Krishna. That is another TDS, Transcendental Devotional Service. Okay. Then that money becomes sanctified. Honestly, you earn money, that is sanctioned. And when you offer a portion of it to Krishna, it becomes sanctified. And regulated means what? Not squandering wealth, but saving wealth. Unnecessarily not squandering. Nowadays, people go to, stop and shop until you drop this, go to a shopping mall and your pocket is empty. Sometimes pocket is negative also because you even sprint from the credit card also, isn't it? So one shouldn't squander the wealth. One should have some restraint. We purchase so many things thinking that maybe it will be helpful later. This may also be helpful. Maybe it's better to keep that. And then you find you have so many packages you can't carry also with you. Isn't it? So, you understand what is sanctioned, sanctified, and regulated. So if you are very good in saving, you are really smart in life. You are saving and you're not squandering the wealth. Those who save don't have to work slog till the fag end of life. You work till 50 and then you have your life at your disposal. You can decide how you want to. In fact, after 50, you can actually have more time with God and reading scriptures, and you can give advice to your children and grandchildren. You can lead a very happy life. So the point is, Lord Krishna himself is teaching us how to lead our life. That means, as regards to enjoyment, I told you, sanctioned, sanctified, and regulated. And what is our duty that we are supposed to perform for God? So, and that is called yajna, we call it. Yajna by Vishnu. So, in ISKCON, the duties that Lord has given us, we put it in a very simple terms called A, B, C, D, E. You can remember this 5. A for association. You should regularly come for programs like this. Why? When you come here, you get the blueprint for your life. How to lead your life, what to do, what not to do. If I do this, I get happiness. If I do that, I get suffering. So one can understand it very clearly when you come to these programs. Because right now you are living in the world where many things are being promoted in billboards and TV that they'll give you happiness. And then you go for them, you buy them, and then you are slapped. You get suffering from that. So we are being cheated in so many ways. Therefore, for you to make the right choices in life, right decisions in life, you need good association in which you can make the right choices. So the good association is indeed very rare in this world. Devotee association is very, very rare, and you are all getting in this program. So this is actually called association in some regular frequency. And and also the association will gradually uh, take you from a from the platform of gross pleasure and pain to the subtler and subtler platform, a point of spiritual plane will come, and you will see that you actually have lived your life in such a righteous way that you are eligible to return back to Vaikuntha. One can attain that. That kind of life everybody can lead. For that, we have to learn first. So, A for association, B for Bhagavad Gita. Every day, just one page a day of Gita. Read it, try to think about it, what I read today. Just one shloka and purport. Every day, if you read. Shankara says this Bhagavad Gita Kinchidadhita Ganga Jalalava Kanika Pita Sakradapi Yena Murari Samarcha Kriyate Yena Yamena Na Charcha Bhaja Govindam Bhaja Govindam Govindam Bhaja Mudamate. He's telling every day if you read just one page of Gita, take a little Ganga water and go to your assembly of devotees like this. At the time of death, Yamadutas will not come to you and you don't have to have an argument with them, he's saying. They won't come only. How will you argue? You don't have to argue. They won't come only, he says. Just one page of Gita a day. So A for association, B for Bhagavad Gita, one page a day. And C for chanting, one round a day. In the beginning of the class, we chanted 108 times today. That is one round. It takes you just about 8 minutes. It takes you 8 to 10 minutes. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So if you chant like this, 10 minutes, I even showed a video in the beginning where this type of melodious chant, it actually produces patterns in your brain. It produces calmness. I'll just show you another video I'll show you. Interesting.
The film you're about to see has no characters.
Powder, rice powder.
Spare a little of your imagination. It is a film to describe to you the effect of cymatic frequencies on matter.
That? So when you play very melodious music, it produces beautiful patterns. Did you observe it? Very nice pattern. Now what he will do, he will play bass guitar, and he will beat the drum, which is 120 decibel. Hare Krishna. Now see the effect of that. Very soon he's going to. Now till now I showed you the good effect. Did you see the good effect? I'll show you again. I'll show you. You can observe it. You ready, all of you? You ready? He's just putting rice powder on a plate and then
If you spare a little of your imagination, it is a film to describe to you the effect of cymatic frequencies on matter.
doing on matter, how the sweet sounds have an effect. gets agitated when you go for high decibel sound. See, when he's beating now, what will happen to water? You observe. See here. See how it is bending. From sand, most of the human body is made of what? Water. So when you hear 120 decibel, you can see how water is bending, your whole body is bending. Therefore, the biological rhythm is disturbed when you hear rock music and all. On the other hand, when you hear the chanting kirtans or you nam japam when you do, like the beautiful patterns are formed in your brain, beautiful patterns are formed. And that is why it produces calmness. So in another video, I showed you the Florida University research also I showed you a few minutes ago. So in the beginning, I showed you. So in this way, the chanting of the Mahamantra can calm your mind and take your mind away from the anxieties and worries. So instead of worry time, you have chanting time. So you substitute your worry time by chanting time. Otherwise, your mind is going to go back to worry again and again over the past, brooding over the past. So A for association, B for Bhagavad Gita 1 page, C for chanting 1 round, and D for devotional diet, which is prasadam. You have prasadam for everybody? Yeah, devotional diet, which is as I told you, because from nature we are taking everything from the Lord. We have to thank Him. If you don't thank Him, then you become obliged. Correct, no? Like for example, you go to a hotel, they supply you food, and then you pay for the bills. Correct, no? Here Krishna is giving you all the vegetables and fruits, and everything is coming. We are drawing from the nature. Is it not true? He has produced and given. So how are we thanking Him? We are taking sunlight, we are taking moonlight, we are taking rain. So the thanking is done by offering it to the Lord. That is devotional diet. D. Anything you eat, before it goes into your mouth, it should be offered to Lord first. And E for engagement in some kind of seva. Like what Som Prabhu is doing for all of you, seva actually. He is opening the doors of his house. He is willing to forego his privacy this evening so that you all can occupy his house and take prasad, attend the program. Monthly, he is regularly doing that. So in this way, this is a kind of seva. Now Acharyatna Prabhu is a brahmachari, celibate. So the celibate monks, their service is dharma prachar. They study the scriptures, they assimilate it, they live the pure lifestyle. And as brahmanas, they are supposed to go and distribute this knowledge to as many people as possible in schools, colleges, companies, homes. So in this way, this is what Krishna is telling, do some seva in relation to the Lord. For example, if some Matajis are making a garland for the Lord, if somebody made this garland there, then making of the garland is also seva. You offer it to Krishna and then you offer. Similarly, you're cooking for the Lord, somebody is cooking for this program and offering to Krishna, then the cooking is also seva. So in this way, anything done in relation to Krishna becomes seva. Like in the temple, I see everybody gets a sadbhavana. Like we have a chatai where we all used to sit and chant. Before the Arati Darshan opens, I used to fold one chatai. Then immediately all the other 20 chatais, different fellows start rolling. Nobody has to tell them, nobody pays for them. They very voluntarily do that. When the people come to temple, the good feelings are arisen in their minds. Like I was in Radha Govind temple, like 3,000, 4,000 people in the early morning hours. I was going for a pradakshina. Then pradakshina when we were going, so many people were giving out. Somebody was giving revdi, somebody was giving tilgul, somebody was giving Mysore pak, somebody was giving bundi. Everybody is in a giving mood there when you go to the temple. And Jaipur, it was in Jaipur, So I went about 3 times and that day I skipped my breakfast. Because whatever the prasadam I took, it was enough. So our Vedic culture teaches us giving culture, not grabbing culture. When I was a small boy, my mom used to say, Dekho, first you have to put this rice offered to Vishnu, you should put it in the roof of the house. And only after a crow eats it, then only I'll give you your plate. So one day I put the food, no crow came. I was wondering, Mom asked, did some crow come and eat? Then I found one crow was sitting far away in a tree. I called him, please come. Ka, 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 ka. She would say kaka, it will come. So at last I brought the crow and the crow ate, then only she would give me. So in our Vedic culture, it is taught that when you cook, you have to offer it to somebody also. Imagine if the 150 crore Indian population offers one plate of prasad to just one person. How many more people can eat? another 150 crore can eat. Then where is scarcity? Tell me. Huh? So our Vedic culture is a giving culture. Vedic culture is not grabbing culture. But modern day culture is a grabbing culture. In fact, Krishna Balrama on their birthday, Mother Yashoda is telling, Kana, it's your birthday today. Many Brahmins are coming, so you have to give cows in charity to them. Huh? Poor people come, you give clothes to them. You Brahmanas are coming, you give them grains and everything. So on his birthday, Krishna is receiving people in queue and giving them all different gifts. You will be very surprised to know. Today on a birthday, what do people do? Do you think they are in a giving mood? They are collecting. Which friend brought what gift? Correct? No, it's just the opposite. Huh? You can see how the world has changed a lot now. You can see that. So in this way, our duty is this ABCD, you can remember. We all will remember this: A for, B for, C for, D for devotional diet, and E for engagement in some seva. So these are the do's that Lord Krishna teaches in different places in the Gita. You do these things. And the don'ts, 4 don'ts already I told you. No illicit sex, no gambling, no meat eating, no intoxication. You give up those things. And also you want to enjoy life, but there is a formula given to you in this while you're living in this world. How do you enjoy the things in the world? Well, what are the 3 parameters you have to put through? Sanctioned, sanctified, and regulated. Yeah. So if you lead in this way, then Lord Krishna says, even though you are living in the middle of society, you will be like a lotus that is unaffected by kichad around, the muddy pool of water. You can remain pure and pristine in your life. So I'll tell you one little story now. Once upon a time, a group of 24 monkeys used to roam from place to place. So when these monkeys once were going, they had one leader also. So these monkeys were pretty thirsty. It was a summer season, pretty hot. So they saw one large body of water. So all the monkeys ran there. The leader monkey said, wait a minute. Don't immediately drink the water. There may be some danger for us. And then they all retracted back. And then he showed them, see, there are big impressions are there on the ground. Maybe some creature may be there in the water. Let us be safe. So we are not caught by a crocodile or anything like that, isn't it? And then when they were talking like this, from the middle of the lake, ogre came. Ogre means like a yaksha type of creature who lives in that water. He came and said, "Oh, monkeys, it's a hot sunny day. Are you not thirsty? Please come closer. Come and drink the water." And then the leader monkey told all the monkeys, "Just see, I told you. This fellow is waiting to eat us. If you go to drink water, you are going to be caught. You'll be eaten alive." So the leader monkey told them, "No, we are not going to drink water here." Then all the monkeys were sad. So much water is there, but we cannot drink. But this monkey said, because this guy is in the water, we don't want to become victim. So I'll tell you another way. So he took them to the field and they got the reeds. Reeds is actually tubular grass. A tall grass. It grows from ground to this level, it grows. So he told all the monkeys, all of you pluck one. So they all plucked one and they all went to a tree top. And the tree, they put the reeds in the water like a straw. They drank the water. So they got the water also. At the same time, they didn't get caught by the yaksha also. Correct? Now, similarly, Lord Krishna teaches you how to live in this world and live a normal life like anybody else. But if you live the life the way I told you, you will not be entangled by good or bad activities. One more thing. If you give uniform to school children, next life you will become owner of a textile mill, surrounded by clothes everywhere. If you give a notebook to school children, next life you are going to become owner of a printing press, surrounded by paper all around. If you are going to supply water in summer season to thirsty people, next life you are going to be born near a riverside or something. Or if you didn't get a river, then you will have a big syntax tank supplying 24 hours water supply. You will have abundant water. But even though the next life is prosperous for you, still you have to take birth and death. In that prosperous life also, you have old age, disease, and death. Like one of the friends rightly said, where is it? He was here, correct, no? He said a few minutes ago, he said, behind where is it? He said that. So you have to suffer again. But if you are giving these things in relation to Krishna, for example, Instead of giving food, you offer it to Krishna and serve as prasad, then that doesn't produce good or bad reaction. It produces divine reaction. It produces, which is called akarma, we call it. Correct. Now, say, for example, I also, when I am traveling, some beggars come and beg. So we tell them to chant Hare Krishna and we give them a cookie. And then they chant Hare Krishna, then I am giving them food, but that giving food doesn't produce any good material reaction. It produces a divine reaction, which is called akarma. Understand, no? So anything you do, like we go to the slum sometimes and we feed the children and then we make them chant Hare Krishna. Sometimes we give them notebooks. Along with that, we give them Hare Krishna stickers also and make them sing Hare Krishna. So any material good activity you do, you should blend it with Krishna consciousness. Then you are also giving them something spiritual. Otherwise, what will happen, I'll tell you. Say, one of you is assisting with one very important service in society like Netradan. You are collecting the eyes from the people before death, I mean, some people, after death, they give their eyes, correct? And then you put it on the blind people's eyes and then you are giving them Netradan. There are many organizations which do that. But after you give the eyes, imagine somebody is going and watching dirty movies. Your intention in giving him the eye is let him read Bhagavad Gita and become a devotee. But then after getting eyes, that guy is misusing it for some other purpose. Correct, no? So therefore, in this world, we have to make sure that the good activities that you wish to do, instead of doing them only good, make them spiritual. That's what our Krishna is saying. Connect it with the Lord. Just like a soldier is connecting his activity with the nation and he gets a reward. He doesn't do it on his own account. He does it on God's account, Krishna's account. And that makes it very perfect. Therefore, you must have heard the famous verse, Karmanneva adhikaraste mahaphaleshu kadachan. Now you may wonder, Karmanneva adhikaraste, I have to do the work and fruit is not for me. What is this? You may wonder. So let us take an example. What's your good name, sir? Sandeep. So Mr. Sandeep is a jamindar. And he has a big bungalow, he has a big garden. So he employs a boy. And he tells the boy, see, here is my area for the garden. Here are the seeds. Here is a hose pipe. You can use it and you can sow the seeds and I want you to grow nice flowers. Here, different colorful flowers, fragrant flowers. Please do that. And that boy is doing that. He's a Mali. He's a gardener. He has done that. So when he grows the entire garden with a lot of colorful, fragrant flowers, the flowers belong to Mr. Sandeep or to the boy? Yeah? Let us take a vote. Sandeep, you can look around, Mr. Sandeep. How many of you vote for Sandeep? He gets all the flowers. Okay, almost half of them. How many of you say the flowers belong to the boy? Anybody? Some of them are doubtful still. See, he has employed a Mali. The garden land was completely empty. He put the seed, he watered it, he grew them, he brought the flowers. Now he has basket full of lot of flowers. The flowers belong to whom? It belongs to the boy or to him? So some of them are saying, yeah? The person is given the seed. She says, okay. That is Mr. Sandeep. So how many of you say it belongs to the boy? Because he only plowed the ground and he put the seeds, he grew that plant and now he has grown all the flowers. But he is only a Mali. For him, he's giving salary also monthly, whatever work he is doing, correct, no? So after that, the Mali should keep the flowers with himself or give it to the boss. Huh? You all agree? Yeah. Similarly, Krishna is the boss for all of us. He has created this world which is like a garden, ground. And he says, Aham bija pradaha pita. He is giving seed for everything. The vegetables, fruits, cereals, everything we eat and the minerals we get, light, everything is giving us, everything. And we are processing these things, correct, no? For example, your eyes, your ears, your nose, your tongue, your skin, and your limbs of your body, did you create or God gave you? The brain that Einstein had, with which he became a genius of the century, did Einstein create his own brain or God gave him? God gave him. Not that he opened his skull and put some brain inside. It is not his brain. God gave him. God gave him the brain. Similarly, God gave us all brain also. He has given us the limbs of the body. And all the elements like iron, sulfur, manganese, gold, silver, everything He has given. Three things I'm telling you. The brain, the limbs of the body, and all the ingredients of the world. All three are given by God. I am just using the God-given things to do something wonderful. And for which God is already giving me remuneration. What is the remuneration? Food, clothing, shelter is giving. Correct? No? He has given everything. So after accepting remuneration, whatever I have done with these things should be given to God back. That is why He says, Mahapaleshu Kadachana. And it's not that God is greedy for what you have. He tells you so that you don't hurt yourself with them. So I'll tell you a little story in this connection. Then you will appreciate this point. Once upon a time, a student studying in India, he thought that his parents are too much controlling him. Generally, children, once they come to teenage, they don't like to be followed up by parents. They say, please leave us free. We want to have adventure in life, thrill in life. Don't get behind us. Correct, no? You will see that when children grow up. So this boy also wanted to be independent. So when he finished his engineering, he applied for jobs abroad instead of being in India. And he got a job in America. So he told the father, Papa, I actually got a very good job in America. I need your permission to go. Father said, why not, my son? It's a prestigious thing. Can definitely go. So on the day when he flew in his plane, he thought, now I am liberated from the father. I have no more trouble. Now I can enjoy the life the way I want in America, he thought. But the moment he landed in America, he got a mail from his father. Said, Beta, I came to know that you are going to get $5,000 per month. So keep $1,000 with you and 4,000 you send me. Like that. He was really fed up when he saw that. He thought, even here also he's not leaving me free. What will he do with $1,000? I have to go from my room to the company and company to room, and I have no other, way I can spend money. He was really very morose, but he didn't say, because he was respectful to parents, he didn't say anything. 5 years passed. Somehow he finished this. And then father said, better now we want to get you married, and enough of you stay in West, you come back. You can join my business now. You can be in India now. Please come back. And we are also planning to get you married. You have to see the girl and everything. So the boy came back. On the day of marriage, the father gave him a checkbook. And the boy was amazed to see, it was actually $4,000 multiplied by 12 into 5. Complete amount the father was giving him back. And the son was surprised. He asked, Papa, what is this? Whatever money I sent you, you're giving me back. Father said, you see, at that time you are alone. I was worried that you will spoil your character. You will misspend the money, you will run behind women, you will smoke and drink, you will ruin your health. Therefore, I took away the money from you. Now that you are married, your wife will become your police. Now I can give everything to you now. Now we can take this money and go. Then the son understood why the father said, Mahapaleshu Kadachana, because I would have hurt myself with this money. Therefore, Krishna says, Karmanyeva adhikaraste. You do the activity, but give the results to me, he says, because when you keep the results with us, we tend to misuse it in this world. How many of you experienced when there is little extra money comes, there is a big quarrel at home? Husband is thinking, I'll spend the money like this. Wife thinks I will spend like this. Children are saying, what about me? So, but if you have a habit of giving some charity to God's service, that is a money that sanctifies the whole family, if you see. Therefore, you will find that when we are living in this world, we have to learn the smart idea of acting in alignment with God so you don't get entangled. So that is the secret of all work that he says in this verse. So once I heard a little interesting story. The Jamindar was very sensitive about anybody in that village not writing anything on his wall. He had a big house, he had a big wall all around. He told the watchman, you have to go on a stroll, you have to go on a patrol. Go round and round and round and make sure that nobody writes anything on the wall. If anybody writes anything, I'll beat him up, he said. So two boys went very close to the Jamindar's house. One of the boys told his friend, I am going to write something on the wall. You just wait and see what happens. Zamindar cannot punish me, he said. The boy said, he's the biggest man in the village. How dare you do that? So the boy went and wrote something not only on one wall, he wrote on all the three walls, this side and this side and this side. And the watchman saw that, and immediately he captured the boy and took him to the Jamindar. And Jamindar came to see what this fellow wrote on the wall. And immediately there was a smile on his face. He took the boy inside his house and he gave him big gifts to him. Plenty of gifts to him. And the friend was very surprised. Can any of you guess what he must have written on the wall?
Not right.
Give her an applause. He wrote, do not write anything on this wall. So Damindar told, I could have done this even before, instead of sending the watchman all around again and again watching. This is a very smart thing this fellow did. So what is so special about this boy? He wrote something in alignment with what Jamindar wanted. He aligned his will with Jamindar's will. So we have to make our will one with Krishna's will, God's will. And then you can live in this world carefree. As long as you are speaking, thinking, acting in alignment with God's will. And Arjuna says that, Karishye Vachanam Tava, he says. Krishna, I promise you that I'll align with your will. See, if you align with God's will, you stand to gain. You don't lose anything. But if you act against God's will, you are fighting against the biggest person in the whole creation, who is the source of all creation. And therefore, people are in big trouble nowadays. What all mischievous activities people are doing. You see, God created this ozonosphere around the earth. It's a protective layer. But man is sending carbon monoxide to deplete it and bring UV radiation into the world. So you can't blame God for sufferings. We are inviting our own sufferings. Like, God never tells you smoke a cigarette or drink liquor and suffer. God doesn't say that. But you can see that people have turned away from God and doing all foolish activities. So aligning with His will makes life very smooth, very joyful, very happy. And that is actually Yoga Karma Kaushalam. Act in such a way that you don't get entangled in this world. You prepare yourself to return back to the supreme spiritual world to which you belong to. Like if a bird has left the nest and going all around the sky, it's a very weary bird, very tired bird. When it comes back to the nest, it's very happy and peaceful. Similarly, we have left God and wandering all over and we are suffering terribly. So you do these right activities. Right activities means in alignment with God. Then you return back to your home. And that is called as a smart work, the really smart work. Because a smart work is that work which you do it in alignment with Him and you don't have to suffer for those activities. Because He is very pleased. For example, very little example you take it. See, here is a pole and I have a cow tied to the pole with 1 meter radius. Newly purchased cow from the market. Now if this cow behaves well with anybody who comes, even children sometimes can come and touch a cow, and the cow is very mild natured. You have seen the gir guy and all, isn't it? Then the master thinks it's a good cow. So he will, what he will do, he will make the radius instead of 1 meter, he will make it 2 meters also, because the cow can roam around well. And the cow continues to behave good. He may even release the rope and allow the cow to wander within the compound, right now. Or after a month or two, when he trusts the cow more, he may let the cow go out and wander in the pastures and come back in the evening. The more the cow aligns with the will of the master, and the cow is a very happy cow. We can be like that. Like imagine, sometimes you bring a cow and tie a cow with 2 meter radius, and anybody goes near a cow, you seen that? With the 2 big horns. You do like that. Then immediately the master, what do you think he will do? He will increase the radius or reduce radius? He will decrease it. Because he knows he doesn't want anyone to be harmed by that. That means the fate is increased when you misbehave. The free will is increased when you rightly behave. Same thing with anybody. Say our father gives a boy 5 rupees every day, pocket money. And father will see what he does with the pocket money, right? Yeah. And father sees that he's accumulating well and doing some good things, spending properly. He'll give him 10 rupees also. Later on, he'll give the key of the bureau. Later, he'll make one bank account in his name. Later on, the father will write a will in son's name. Better, you are such a good boy. Whatever I have is yours. On the other hand, if the father sees the son is smoking a cigarette, then instead of 5 rupees, he may give only 2 rupees or 1 rupee. He will cut down. and the boy is stealing from the bureau, he will lock the bureau also. So the restrictions are increased when the son goes against the father's will. And the freedom is increased and more facilities are provided when the son aligns with father's will. Very simple examples, right? Like the cow also. Similarly, while we are all living in this world, let us learn the art of aligning with Lord's will, and lead a happy life here. And then at the end of this life, you will be transported back home, back to Godhead. And that is the art of smart work. Yoga karmasa kaushalam, he says. That's a real art of work, Lord Krishna says. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Can take it.
Anybody have a question? Unknown. No question?
If they don't have a question, they can say a takeaway. One takeaway from the class.
Yesterday,
And the mic.
Yesterday you had spoken what you call a Unity World. I had gone over there. It was on Lord Ram. Can I ask a question on that?
Oh, yes,
Good.
we can. Yeah.
Yesterday you said, Prabhuji, Lord Ram is Maryada Purushottam Ram. One devotee had asked a question over there, but I could not get it clear actually. After returning from Lanka, one Gobi said something and Lord Ram sent Sitaji to Valmiki's ashram.
Correct.
तो कहने का तात्पर्य प्रभु जी की just to show that Lord is Purushottam Ram,
Yes.
he sent his wife to Valmiki's ashram. But sending Sita to Valmiki's ashram just because Dhobi said,
Dhobi is not a Dhobi. He is one of the praja of the king. See, for the king, all the praja, they are supposed to follow the king. There's a saying in English, Caesar's wife must be above suspicion. Yeah? For example, in Edward 13, I think in UK, there was one king whose son was supposed to become the successor. But he was attracted to a society girl, So the king several times corrected the son, better you can't do this, you should properly marry. But he was still attracted to such a girl. So the ministers clearly told the king, he has two choices. Either he gives her up, then he can become the successor of you. Or he can, if he wants to go behind her, let him go. Then we have to have another person. This fellow was attached to her. He couldn't leave her. So somebody else was made the king. So that means you can see that a king cannot have any lack of character. Now Lord Ram has no lack of character. Even Sita has no lack of character. Agni Pariksha was done also. But when Lord Rama saw that in the praja there is some kind of rumor mongering happening about the issue of Sita being away from Rama, carried away by Ravana, then Ram thought, I'll tell you a simple example. If you put a black dot in a lungi, lungi?
Yes.
Lungi, what is lungi? Yeah. Will you be able to see it? You won't see it. But if you take a white dhoti and put one black dot, you'll be visibly seen. Similarly, Lord Ram is spotless in character. And this need not be a blemish, pointing fingers. So for that, he wanted to show his praja how strict he can be in his personal life for fulfilling the duty to the citizens. And therefore, I was telling the example of Kargil War. Your personal life is your home life. And then your life for the nation is superior. And life for God is even more superior. Like people like Brahmachari Sannyasis, for them the sky is the roof. Correct? And then all the living beings are their relatives. 8 billion population on the earth. Vasudhayeva Kutumbakam. The whole world is their relationship. So in this way, there are different levels of dharmas. For Ramachandra, because he is a king of the whole praja, if a king is found to be having some hole in his character, then the praja will point out that and they will imitate that. That's why Yatha Raja Tata Praja we say. So he wanted to show an impeccable character. Therefore he did that. But one thing I told also yesterday, that Sita and Rama may be externally appearing to be separated, but they are never separated. Because Shaktiman can never be separated on a spiritual plane. Like one time when Rama was weeping in Nasik, that hey Sita, huh? When Ravana had taken away. That time Parvati Mata also was wondering. She told Shiva, who is this fellow crying for Sita? Huh? And Shiva said, he's Bhagavan. You don't know who. Shiva offered obeisances, namaskar. Then Parvati assumed the form of Sita and came from this one direction, and Rama was coming. But Rama immediately told her, hey Parvati Mata, where is Lord Shiva? You are coming alone. Huh? He asked her. And Parvati was amazed. How did he detect that I am not Sita? Huh? So, and then Rama showed her a Pattabhishek, where Sita was sitting right next to him. Sita and then Lakshman and Hanuman and everybody was there. Then she was wondering, why was he crying then? Huh? Sita is right here. Huh? And then that Pattabhishek form vanished again. And then again Rama was weeping for Sita. So Lord is doing this as a Leela. Huh? In Leela, Lord may appear to be separated, but eternally Sita and Rama are like sun and sunshine. They are inseparable. Is it clear?
But as a layman,
No.
But a layman will think that Sita is victimized, isn't it, Prabhuji?
Sita is?
Victimized.
There are, anybody will ask this question, why Rama is so strict? Because, see, Rama stands for character, spotless character. He took a Ekapatni Vrata also. Kshatriya can marry many wives, but he took a Ekapatni Vrata, you know that. Huh? And his father, Pitruvachan, he was not ready to break, even though Vasishta came and told him, you can give up your vow to go to forest and come and rule. Even Kaikeyi came and requested him after becoming widow. He said, Pitruvachan cannot be broken. So the kind of character that Lord Rama is, standing for, today people have to be ashamed in front of such a ruler. He is an impeccable ruler. So impeccable character means nobody can point any hole, nobody can finger point anything in Lord Rama's character. That is why he is like that. He is so strict and that's what makes Rama Rama. Correct, no?
मेरा क्वेश्चन तो ये नहीं है, मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि आपने बताया कि लॉर्ड रामा किंग है, उन्होंने तो 100% है, लेकिन जस्ट किसी व्यक्ति ने कह दिया तो उसने अपने प्रेग्नेंट वाइफ को किसी भिजवा दिया और कहीं. दैट इज द कॉन्ट्राडिक्टरी.
नो प्रेग्नेंट को किधर, कुछ लोग बोलते हैं कि जंगल भगा दिया, बोलते हैं क्या भगा दिया. शी वॉज लिविंग इन वाल्मीकि आश्रम. ऑल द ऋषिज वर मैरिड ऋषिज and their wives were there. They took care of her and the delivery happened very smoothly. There was no problem. So people sometimes portray Rama as, they demoniacally they portray like that. Rama knew that. He sent with Sumantra and Lakshman to go and drop her in Valmiki's ashrama where Rishi Munis were living with their families, and she got the shelter there, and she was agreeable also. She was not cursing Rama, why did you do this to me? She understood that Lord Rama wants to set an example of a most ideal ruler for the whole world. So that should come to pass. She was ready for that.
Actually, he's talking about Sita's
Sita's sentiments.
suffering.
Yeah. No, actually, Sita was very happy. She was not suffering. She was protected. She was protected by the Rishi's wives. They took care of her. And she was not, Hare Krishna, she was not dropped in the middle of a jungle and they ran away or something like that. It was not done like that. Some people...
Public can think that Sita is victimized.
Actually, the public, they might not have read the section also well. That's one thing. Another thing, because nowadays people are not having idea of what it means to be an ideal king or ideal leader. Actually, people are so shameless nowadays. For the sake of money, they will do anything nowadays. And people have no standard of character. Therefore, they may think that, what a great deal. One Praja is saying, why should you take it seriously, they may say. But at that time, Praja was also very high standard. King was high standard, Praja was high standard. Prana bhi jaye, vachana jaye, people say, no? Nowadays, people make so many promises, they never keep it. Yeah. Times have changed now, because we are living in an age called Kali Yuga. It's the fourth age now. So, if you see in Satya Yuga, that age, actually the whole world was completely pure. And therefore, Lord Rama wanted to set the highest example. And he is the most compassionate. We cannot portray him as a cruel person. For him to leave Sita is far more painful than any of us feeling pain that he did it. We are a third person talking about it, and for him, he himself is ready to miss her association for that sake. in the same manner, for him to leave the dying father and go to forest is not an easy thing. Well, Lord Ram did some of the most difficult things to do in order to establish, because if you want to lead a life of truthfulness, honesty, and pure character, it is painful life actually. But although it is painful, you will be remembered for all time if you lead such a life. Even today also, people of very high character are remembered. Those who stand for the truth. Correct, no? One last question? Yeah. Somebody had a question, huh? Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
I would like to ask you. The question is about Prarabdha.
Question about Prarabdha. Okay.
Prarabdha. We find it so convenient to blame anything that goes wrong on the Prarabdha that, okay, he's suffering because he brought it down from his Prarabdha and generations after this,
Yeah.
life after life. And then things pass away like that, okay. So there are two questions involved in this one question. One is, what is the meaning of Prarabdha? And for how many yugas or how many yogis or janmas it carries on? And then how to get it? Suppose you have, we say a week in as a small little thinking that we have. We call it that, okay, you made some losses in your balance sheet, so you are carrying it from before, you can clean it in this yuga.
See, the Prarabdha is very difficult for you to know. Huh? So what in Gita, Lord Krishna says, do your best and let God do the rest. For example, you can sow the seed, but rain God only can give. And you can give the interview, the panel has to choose you for the job. You have to write the examination, the invigilators have to give you the marks. Correct, no? Similarly, invest money in the business and put your best intelligence, take guidance from others also. And then after that, whether big profits will come or losses will come, you can't say. That is in God's hands, isn't it? So, Krishna criticizes lethargy. He says, don't be lethargic. He says, Vigata Jwara. He says, don't be lazy. You have to do, even a lion who's the king of the jungle has to work hard to get his food. Nahi smukasya suptasya pravishanti mukhe murga, it is said. So, it's not that lion can be sitting in one place and deer will come and say, please eat me. No, it has to do the work. So, even sadhus have to do the work. Anashita karma phalam karyam karma karotyaha sasanyasi cha yogi cha na niragne na chakriya. Even about sannyasi is telling. A sannyasi or brahmachari, even we cannot be sleeping. We have to go out and do good work in the society for the welfare of the people. So, everybody has to take initiative. So, not only you do physical effort, you apply your intelligence also. Buddhiryasya balam tasya. Like if you see the rabbit applied his intelligence and told the lion that, on the way I saw a big well where there's another lion claiming to be king of the forest. I told him that you are the king, but he's not accepting, he said. And the lion said, take me there, he said. So he took him there and he peeped and saw, and the rabbit said, this is the fellow I told him. He looked at his own reflection, the lion jumped into the well. And then the rabbit was saved. Although rabbit is small, lion is great. He physically would not have won over the lion. But he applied his intelligence. So we should bring our intelligence, apply our senses, and do our best, but there is always things beyond us. Because ultimately things are in God's hands. So we can only, one more thing you can add to your, one more component you can add is prayer. Like Hanuman, for example, he climbed up the Mahendra Parvat, folded his palms, closed his eyes, remembered Vayu, remembered Lord Ramachandra, remembered his Guru Surya Dev, So he prayed to all of them. And he told them that I'm going on a very important project of searching after Sita. So it's only by your blessings I can accomplish anything. I am like one and you are like infinity. 1 plus infinity is infinity. So prayer is the difference between what you can do and what God can do. It is said. So we can pray to the Lord, but not only prayer, not that you pray and you go to sleep. Krishna never told Arjuna, I am here in the chariot, don't worry, you go to sleep, I will take care. He didn't say that. He said, you have to take initiative. I will supply you intelligence and guidance, and you have to take the initiative. So we take initiative physically, apply our intelligence, pray to God, and whatever comes, we accept as prarabdha karma. Is it all right? It's getting late now. Huh? Yeah. Yeah. Be able to kirtan 5 minutes. You can do. I am an early sleeper and I am early waker also. 8:30 I'm supposed to be in the bed according to my doctor. Huh? It's a little late for me. Thank you. Yogeshwar Prabhu will do kirtan. He's a very sweet kirtanier. You all can take part in the kirtan. Okay. Thank you all very much. And especially thanks to Som Prabhu for the opportunity. And you brought so many brilliant people all under one roof. It's very joyful occasion for me. Your home is getting flooded with devotees now. Amazing. Hare Krishna.